Hello everyone, this is part 26 of What If Naruto Learned the Secret of Shadow Clone, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
The sun was bright and warm. The sound of waves crashing against the pier was almost invigorating, and with a small smile Mai Terumi stepped off of their transport and officially entered the port of Wave. It was a busy affair. The docks around her were teeming with people, though most of the commercial business seemed to be further away within its own section of the dockyards. Probably for the best, as the small amount of industry smell that reached her nose was already putting her off. Looking up as a flock of seagulls flew overhead, she took it as a good sign and made her way into the crowd. Behind her, Ao and Chojuro followed along, each tucking away sealing scrolls with her luggage. Uzushiogakure, perhaps you could slow down a bit. Chojuro didn't want to draw her ire, but it was a bit of a hassle to keep up with her. Mai did slow all the same. It's just so exciting, isn't it? A new and prosperous country, and one much closer than the usual major villages. We have a water nation neighbor. It might be a small thing, but islanders could bond over issues and industries that the mainland could not. Looking back towards her guards slowly, she nodded. I would enjoy immensely if this would go well. Ao nods as he stands tall and scans the crowd around them. I'm sure we all would love that. Uzushiogakure. Briefly adding chakra to his stolen eye behind his eye patch, he noticed there were nothing but civilians around them. Relaxing a tad, he idly did note a woman in a blue and white pantsuit walking up towards them. Mai notices as well and turns to the woman, who bows deeply to them. Good morning and welcome to Wave. My name is Maya and I am a member of the immigration office. If you would please follow me to the welcome center, that would be most appreciated. Standing tall, the ninja crew noticed the dark-haired and eyed woman had a practiced smile that did not seem to reach her eyes. Curious. Waving a hand, however, Mai wasn't in the mood to deal with some civilian. No need, we're ninja here on a peaceful mission, please step aside. The Uzushiogakure surely had instructed his ninja that they would be coming soon. Maya, however, just shook her head. My apologies, but I must insist that you follow me. It is only standard procedure. While she hadn't been given the details of any special visitors coming today, she was expecting that this was possibly the Uzushiogakure that Uzumaki-sama had warned them to watch out for. So far she seemed very rude and off-putting. Eyes tightening just a bit, Maya raised her voice just a tad. I am only doing my duty. Sighing, Mai nods along. I'm sure you are, then please, lead the way. Getting a nod from the woman, who turned and started to lead him towards a busy-looking road, Mai turns to Ao and Chojuro and winks. They follow behind the woman for a time, before quietly slipping away into the crowd. Maya is unaware of this, however, speaking up about the city around them. Wave has had an economic boom as of late, and our port reflects that. Not even a few hundred meters away from the docks are shops and stalls, restaurants and stores that cater to not only sailors but also tourists and locals. Turning back with a smile, Maya sighs as she noticed the ninja had left. Well, that made things simpler for her. She did her duty, now she was to report to the local garrison. With determined strides she slipped down a quiet alley and was quickly out of sight. Mostly unconcerned with their actions so far, the Kiri group explored a bit. Chojuro was a bit worried and voiced his opinion. Should we have left her like that? She was only doing her job, wasn't she? Mai, however, waved him off, or she was mocking us and didn't believe that we were ninja. Either way, we have legitimate business to attend to, and I would rather not be slowed down by some civilian child. Surely the Uzushiogakure wouldn't be concerned about her blowing off some civilian. Please lead the way, you've been here before. Yes, Uzushiogakure-sama. Ao pointed towards an avenue that led up a hill towards what looked like a main market area. Up that road leads to the main causeway. From there we will meet a train station. A train station, you say? Mai had heard of the fledgling vehicles, but hadn't seen one as of yet. They were manufactured in snow, if she remembered, curious how they made it all this way south. Ao nods. Yes, apparently Spring and Uzu have some sort of special relationship. All around them they were currently walking through a busy-looking entertainment district. Several shops offering everything from clothes and fancy local-made accessories and equipment, to other more interesting business could be found here. None of the buildings were more than a few stories tall, though all held brightly colored banners and signs to draw attention. In the distance I could see a few buildings that stretched towards the sky. I wonder if those are hotels. Chojuro nodded. By the construction I would agree, plus they're far away from the industrial areas and more towards the beaches and recreation facilities. May smiled. Maybe someday we can visit there. I bet the view from the top floor is amazing that high up. Turning to look ahead, she frowned a bit as a line of samurai barred their way. There were 5 in total, all in a line and staring them down, though none said a word. Do you have business with a samurai? This was absolutely an oddity. The only major force of samurai in the elemental nations would be from the country of iron. Why would they be here? Or maybe they were a local force though that seemed like wasted investment of training when ninja were available. Being met with silence, Al frowned and made to walk around them. If you have no business with us then let us pass. One of the guards held out a hand, bearing his way. It took some self-control to keep from breaking that arm. You do well to know your place, samurai. Al, we are in their country, maybe don't start a conflict. Chojuro was considering pulling his own sword free however. Samurai shouldn't be any match for them, but one never knew. Their focus was completely different from ninja after all. And as a sword user himself, things could get dicey. May however just smirked and stepped forward. I don't normally go for the strong silent types, but I might make an exception here. There was a glint in her eye that instantly made Ao and Chojuro nervous. She didn't recognize the identification plate on their belts, and they weren't speaking. There was always a chance these were men hoping to cause some conflict between their countries. Distracted, none of them paid attention as the street was emptied of people. They all did notice however a spike of chakra. In a swirl of water, a long dark-haired woman dressed in a flowing blue and orange kimono shunshined behind the line of samurai. Giggling, the woman tapped one of the samurai on the shoulder. You may stand down and return to your duties. I shall handle this from here. They all watch for a moment as the samurai silently wander away before the woman bows to them. You'll have to forgive them. They were only told to hold you here for a moment and nothing else, and they are very strict about following orders to the letter. My name is Kotohime Uzumaki. I have to bring up however that all foreign ninja must register at the welcome center when they arrive. Here Kotohime winked at him. It's for safety and trust building reasons. All ninja who attempt to ignore registration are perceived as potential threats. She motions upwards with her head and the Kiri ninja look around a bit. On the rooftops are dozens of silent ninja while in the alleyways were more of the samurai. May chuckles and bows back to the Uzumaki woman. My apologies. We had assumed that the civilian woman had no connections with the ninja facilities or authorities and had set ourselves to making our way on our own. We meant no harm. Well, there went the good first impression. Kotohime nods and brings up a hand to her mouth. Whistling loudly in 2 short bursts, the ninja all vanish at once. More slowly are all of the samurai who begin to wander off back to their assigned areas. Well then, Mizukage-sama. I would like to formally welcome you to Wave. May smiles. Thank you. I do apologize for the mix-up. Looking around as the street starts to fill with people again, May motions around with a hand. Uzushio's reconstruction has been nothing but amazing from what we can see so far. Shaking her head and motioning for the group to follow her, Kotohime leads the way towards the train station. This is Wave, only a part of Uzushio as a nation. The main island is much more grand, at least, I think so. Ao and Chojuro fall back to May's sides as the cage talks to the calm woman, while May herself is happy to see a woman in some station of power. And where do you rank within your village? Kotohime shrugs. Officially I am one of Uzushio's jonin, though more importantly I am one of the Uzukage's wives. Kotohime turns a bright eye towards her. Also, don't freak out. Hello. Tsunami appeared on May's other side and it did take some control not to jump. Chojuro did flinch a bit. I'll need your names and ninja IDs in order to register you properly. Oh yes. May Terumi, May, Ao, and Chojuro gave her the requested information as they continued to walk along. Tsunami jotted everything down quickly and efficiently before smiling brightly and nodding to Kotohime. I know she's already welcomed you, but I as well. Welcome to Wave and I hope you enjoy your stay. Seeing the ninja nod, she was quick to turn away and melt into the crowd. Within a breath she was gone. Ao can't help himself and speaks up. Uzushio ninja are very talented. He wanted to say frightening. He hadn't heard her until she announced herself. How could anyone move that quietly? This sends Kotohime giggling for a bit before she shakes her head. That's just Tsunami's way. Though I'll have to disappoint you. She isn't a ninja. Though no one could figure out just why she was so good at sneaking around like she was. Naruto seemed to have some idea, but he wasn't telling. None of the Kiri ninja believe her but continue to follow her all the same. Through the market district and up the main road, they are eventually led to a bustling train station that leaves the Kiri nin in awe. Kotohime gives them a moment to appreciate things and take it in before motioning them to continue. Our train line extends from here all the way to the land of spring. There are stops in Uzushio, the land of hot waters, the land of frost and now the land of rice as well. Though to get to the land of rice you'll have to transfer trains in the land of hot waters. Mei was instantly intrigued. You can travel that far on one of these. Kotohime nods as they enter the massive building, the noise level climbing quickly as construction was also underway. It was a recent thing transforming the aid station over to a fully functional train station, but it was happening as they had planned now that Uzushio was close to coming out publicly. The stop in Land of Hot Waters is essential for refueling for now, but the spring engineers assure us that a new fuel will be available soon that will negate the need for that. They walk by a train that is several cars long, done in dull gray and blue, steam spilling out from under its heavy wheels. Mei and the others note however that they aren't boarding it. Where are we going? Mei slips out with her curiosity. Kotohime motions forwards to a train car with a single passenger car, colored more in red and blue this time. A VIP car for the occasion. Please, this way. Standing beside an open door, Mei and the others board the plush and very comfortable passenger car. Kotohime boards behind them and motions to the comfortable-looking red and gold seats. Please sit and relax. This was designed as a short-duration car. We have others built for long-distance travel as well. Kotohime strides forward down the center alley as the others take available seats. Chojuro is frantically looking around and taking in every detail while Ao has his arms crossed. Each of the bench seats have a table between the forward and rearward-facing sections. Mei is facing forward while Chojuro sits on one side of her next to the window while Ao sits on the other. Mei watches as Kotohime walks to the front of the car. Knocking on the door and exchanging words with someone unseen on the other side, they all hear a deeply toned whistle as Kotohime makes her way back to them. You've advanced very far indeed. Mei mentions as the woman joins them, sitting across from her while Ao and Chojuro sit on either side of Mei. Truly Kiri couldn't hope to match this. Kotohime shrugs. Our leader was very motivated and driven to see things done. Naruto wouldn't rest until Uzushio was built into a great and lasting city. Only now were people of the other nations going to be allowed to see that hard work come to life. They all jolted as the car began to move and Kotohime smiled. Total travel time between Wave and Uzushio is roughly 20 minutes. Mei could feel the car angle downwards and smirked. Underground transportation then. No wonder no one has caught on yet. Another idea from Uzukage-sama. We wanted to keep Uzushio a secret for as long as possible. Additionally, it protects the rail lines from sabotage. Indeed, I can only imagine the labor costs involved with such a project. Kotohime smirked. We have ways of getting around that. Mei frowned a bit here. Finally an issue on the Uzumaki end. I hope your clan isn't one to use slave labor. That would be a hard sell for them. Mei would allow leeway for a lot, but not slavery. No number. We've fully outlawed slavery in any form within our nation. We are also very strict with our allies and refuse to remain as such with any nation that allows the practice within their borders. A smile was back on Mei's face. That is wonderful to hear. Ao sighs, finally relaxing a bit. Fast though this is, it feels lazy. There was nothing wrong with the way ninja travel. Chojuro shook his head. But imagine, traveling this way allows for ninja to rest and conserve their energy. I suppose. Mei is still looking at the calm Kotohime. Is all of this technology from the land of spring? Most of it, yes. Kotohime points to the lights. There are several innovations that started in spring that Uzu has improved upon. There are a few more joint efforts within the village and more Uzu-only advancements as well. I look forward to seeing everything for myself. May is honest here. This spoke of advancements that possibly no other village could hope to match. By a long shot, May is mentally still gauging the calm woman opposite of her and was coming to the conclusion that while composed and knowledgeable, she had a certain edge to her that the older woman liked. It was also giving her an idea of what this Uzukage might be like, allowing such a woman to greet them herself and without escort as well. The rest of the short trip is relatively quiet, Kotohime answering a few mundane questions from Chojuro while May relaxed and enjoyed the ride. Ao kept his guard up the entire time while occasionally checking the area with his Byakugan. He never found anything out of place, but it helped his peace of mind. Soon they were coming to a stop in a much grander train station, long and wide with several tracks leading in and out of it. Kotohime led them to disembark the train, leading them outside and past busy civilians and workers. With a bright smile as they walking outside through glass doorways, Kotohime waved a hand towards the city in the distance. Welcome everyone, to Uzushio. Out in the sun now and back in natural light, all three pause and take in the sight before them. While Ao had seen it before, May and Chojuro were slightly awed by it all. Words did not do it justice, and of course having gotten a description from Ao did not help things. May has no problems complimenting the city. Truly you have endeavored to rebuild quickly. It is such a marvel to see. If only her home could be rebuilt so easily. Kotohime motions to a waiting trolley car, one among dozens. This way please. Walking forward with the other three behind her, Kotohime boards first and whispers to the male operator in a professional blue suit. Waiting for everyone else to board, he reached up to ring a bell twice before pushing a lever forward. With a small shudder from the rail-locked cart, they began to roll forward and pick up a good pace. Turning back to the others, Kotohime is still smiling. This is our city. Our hope and dream has been to build a home that could know peace. We have all had something taken from us, homes, family, friends, lives. It is here that we come together in spite of that pain to build a new and better future. That is the essence of Uzushio. Ao nods along as May digests that. It is a marvel that so many people are willing to work so hard for a better life and not butt heads near constantly. Chojuro is again looking around and trying not to touch everything as they ride along on an horse cart-sized trolley. To think a cart could move on its own without a horse or mule. Fascinating. How does it work? May is still thinking, and Ao and Chojuro both are fine keeping the Uzumaki woman distracted. Kotohime is happy to answer what she can. This isn't my area of expertise, but I was informed that each of the trolleys uses a rod connected to electrical rails underground. This is turn powers motors that move them. Chojuro nods. That's smart. The power lines are out of the way so no one can be injured, and it's cleaner than a steam engine. Ao shrugs. What's the point of it though? We're barely moving faster than a walk. Kotohime motions to other trolleys on the other side of the road, two of them linked together and carrying people towards the train station. Mass transit made available to civilians. It helps with city productivity and quality of life, which we find very important here. May idly turns her eyes back towards the towering buildings they were approaching. This is amazing. It would take years normally for this type of construction to be done. Uzushio must have been rebuilding in secret since they were destroyed. Actually, this is only the product of a little under a year's worth of work. Kotohime preened at the shocked looks. Like I said, we had an advantage in manpower. May turned from the city to Kotohime and back again. All of this within a year. This was beyond amazing. It would take tens of thousands or maybe even hundreds of thousands of people working together to make this happen so quickly. Were there that many people here? I sure wouldn't mind some of that magic for Kirikaga. Kotohime winked at her. You never know, our cage has been curious about such a proposal. We had heard rumors that Kiri was in the middle of its own reconstruction. Distracted for a moment as they enter the beginning of the residential ward, the young woman smiles as they come upon a group of school children. They are riding atop a large crab golem, and they all wave to her as some recognize her. No teacher in sight tells her they are either going home or they are on a bit of a trip to the farms. May watches what looks like a summon scuttle by, that you would be so frivolous with summoned creatures as to escort children. Do they not get upset? Kotohime, however, steadfastly does not answer her, only smiling and tilting her head. Ah, so some things would not be given to them then. Summons were normally tightly held secrets after all. But to use summons in such a flippant manner, that spoke of both power and deep respect. If they did not need summons for defense, then did that mean they had other methods of protecting themselves? Looking around as Chojuro set about asking more questions of the Uzumaki, May noticed there were more samurai walking the streets here. All were tall and wearing the same heavy but dull grey armor. A few had orange highlights along their helmets, making her believe those must be commanders and also giving her the idea that the color orange might have some special meaning here. Kotohime herself had a bit on her as well, and the inside of the VIP train had some as well. Curious. They soon arrive within the city center where it is a hive of activity. The noise levels rise quickly as people and trolley cars move in a sort of organized chaos. Kotohime only pats the operator on the shoulder and he slows to a stop while Kotohime motions to the street. We can walk from here. Everyone jumps off, watching the car trundle away. Along its covered top a sign changes. Originally denoting it as a VIP transport, it switches to showing the train station as its next destination. Even as May watches, several people quickly board as the trolley continues along on its track. Kotohime leads them along the sidewalk before ducking to the left and into a suddenly quieter courtyard with a carefully maintained and landscaped yard. They are looking upon a two-story condo that Kotohime is walking towards. May is curious about it. Are we meeting your cage now? She would have rather relaxed and settled in for a bit. They weren't in a rush after all. Kotohime comes to the front door and produces a key from her kimono, unlocking it and opening the door. No, this condo will be your residence for your stay here within Uzushio. Stepping inside and waiting for them to join her, Kotohime closed the door and motions to the large space. Along with this, the city is open to you for the duration of your stay as well. Though of course, certain military areas will be off limits. Do not be concerned, however, you will be directed away long before you can make any mistakes. Here she motions back towards the door where the group can see 3 seals towards its middle. 1 blue, 1 green, and 1 red. The blue seal is to summon myself or another member of the diplomatic group. Apply chakra to it and we shall come to your aid for any reason. The red seal is to signal distress and will automatically seal the door and the compound within a barrier. The green seal is to summon a more civilian functionary, who can assist you with ordering food or supplies as well as direct you if you are interested in certain entertainment venues or eateries. May's eyebrows have continued to rise until they were well into her hairline. This is all very thought out and such ingenious use of seals. She had known the Uzumaki were verifiable sealing masters. Here was her first in-her-face display of such. Kotohime bows before holding out the key and handing it to Ao. We aim to make your experience here as pleasant as possible. Please rest up and relax, explore the city as you please, and when you are ready for a meeting please summon me. The Azukage is excited to meet you. May nods to Chojuro who goes to explore the condo a bit and most likely check for listening seals and the like. Are there any local customs or rules we should be aware of? Kotohime's smile becomes a bit more genuine at the Mizukage's consideration. The usual, ninja travel and roof hopping isn't exactly illegal, but it is heavily frowned upon without good reason. So please keep that in mind. Also, since you are visitors here, there are 2 or 3 local customs that you should be aware of. First, the Uzumaki are very family-oriented, so you will regularly find most bathhouses are mixed bathing. We value skinship highly here and this does bleed over a bit in our day-to-day lives, so please think twice when complimented here in the city. Most do not mean offense or are meant to be crude. There is also the Uzumaki monument in front of the tower. Paying your respects would go a long way towards endearing yourself to the people. Kotohime smirks here. If you buy flowers and explain what they are for, don't be alarmed that you're given flowers in a small planting sack. We prefer living dedication in all forms. May nodded, considering what happened to the previous Uzumaki living here. We will keep that in mind. For now I think we will indeed rest and explore the city a bit. Perhaps this afternoon we shall call for a short meeting with your cage. Kotohime bows once again. I shall pass that information along. Please, enjoy your stay and once more, welcome to Uzushio. Turning, the woman was soon out of the door and leaving the Kiri group alone. Chojuro was quick to return, eyes sparking. The technology available here is out of this world. You couldn't expect this level of comfort from anywhere else except maybe Tanzaku. Also, no listening seals or the like so far. Ao nods, Having checked as well with his Byakugan, a man should need no more than a cot and warm food to have comfort. All of this finery will make ya soft Chojuro. Groaning, the older man shook himself for a moment, nothing showing up in my search as well. It's clean. May nods, thoughtful, you are much too stir now. But this is still odd. They trust us enough to explore completely on our own and don't even attempt to bug our accommodations. I'm very interested in meeting this cage now. Either he was confident in his skills for a reason, or arrogant. Turning and heading for the stairs, she waves off her companions. I am going to find the master bedroom and set myself up. I suggest you both find rooms and do the same. Yes, Mizukage-sama. Ao and Chojuro replied together while watching Mei climb the stairs and leave. Ao has his own thoughts on the matter. This Uzukage is much too lax and reckless. This gives too many opportunities for sabotage. Chojuro shrugged as he found the couch and flopped onto it lazily. Like Mizukage-sama said, it could be a sign of strength. What if they have other methods of watching us? Or they just flat aren't worried about us causing any damage? Ao grunted as he set about exploring the rest of the space, and to hunt down a room, I suppose. This would undoubtedly be an interesting trip. At the least they would have some time to explore and mingle among the normal citizens. Maybe build up a better idea of just what they were getting into. Within spitting distance of the visiting group from Kirian sitting in his office is Naruto. Today guarded by En and Jugo, he's listening as Kotohime gives her report about the Mizukage and her escorts. Beyond the door he can hear Hinata and Ino gossiping back and forth while acting as his secretaries, most likely looking for a chance to sneak in and kick his guards out for lunch. Besides the minor snafu regarding them bypassing registration, everything was calm. Kotohime stood relaxed before his desk, though mentally she was a little jealous of Karen and Hinata, who had both had some office time with her love. That's great to hear. We'll have to use this and maybe figure out a better way to show the ninja visitors this requirement. Maybe a dedicated ninja post in Wave. Naruto would shoot the idea to everyone else later so he could get some other viewpoints. You did well today, Kotohime. On that note, what do you think of the Mizukage? Kotohime put a finger to her lips while she thought about the question. She is a well put together and confident woman. Intelligent, undoubtedly skilled, and forward-thinking. Very much your type, my lord. Mei Terumi was a beauty who turned many heads, both of men and women. Kotohime could see Naruto being interested. Political marriages were a thing after all. Snorting, Naruto shook his head. I'm not asking about that last one. But I value your analysis. Your praise is greatly appreciated, Uzukage-sama. Naruto sighed. You can still just call me Naruto. Nonsense, we are operating in an official capacity. Decorum and proper protocol must be maintained. Hi. I'll leave it alone then. Though, the situation could have been worse. It might be a good idea to figure out how to impart some type of speech ability to the security golem from here on. It was a good thing that the golem had not attacked and instead remained defensive. But in the future, well, ninja could be a very physical bunch. Naruto nods to this. Karen's brought it up a few times. We're thinking of figuring out a way to copy a basic consciousness into them, kind of like my shadow clones. Only just the mind. Slow going though. I'm sure Karen will figure it out, especially now that she has some assistance from Honoka. How are they doing working together? Naruto hadn't had a chance recently to check on them. If he had time he'd do so today. They're doing well. They are deeper in the second basement level working with the border monitoring staff. They're watching the Mist Ninja full time until they leave. Kotohime already knew what Naruto was going to say and personally knew both women would be getting an earful later. We have staff now for a reason, so they shouldn't be spending all of their time down there. I'll have to go remind them later. Kotohime grins and wonders how Honoka will react to that. All of the girls knew how Karen would enjoy that. What are your plans for the rest of the day then? Until the Mizukage leaves I'll be here in my office in order to be available. Though, I guess I could leave a clone from time to time and switch out if they come calling. Plus, if something happened that required his attention he couldn't completely tether himself to this desk. Looking back towards En he voiced a question that popped in his mind. All of the Chinoit clan are up to date about the Mizukage and her group, right? En nods with a grin. My clan won't be causing any trouble, you have my word. Sighing and knowing he was perhaps worrying a bit too much, Naruto looks up as his door opens up. Neji is walking in, long bundle on his back while flanked by two others. One was a woman from the Hotaru clan with her own identical wrapped bundle. Neji and the woman had taken to changing their clan's colors to hues of blues, while the other was a man from the Chinook clan. Dressed like some off-the-road bandit, he was all grins as they came to Naruto's desk, Kotohime coming around to stand at Jugo's side and out of the way. Neji. Something to report. He had almost forgotten that Neji had been able to form a team in order to begin taking missions. Though at the moment it was all hands on deck within their borders. Bowing and standing smartly, Neji keeps his face carefully neutral. We've finished our first patrol around Uzushio and encountered no issues. We're going to be moving on and performing a patrol around Wave next. Naruto sighs but nods. You aren't pushing yourselves, are you? You can rest, we do have other teams on patrol as well. Neji shakes his head. We are following guidelines, we'll be fine. Thank you for your concern, Uzukage-sama. Seeing Naruto twitch sent the older boy smirking internally. He might not be able to beat his friend in a fight, but he certainly could annoy him. Behind him his clanmate and team member adjusts her own wrapped bundle. Oh, Neji's being modest. He's working himself hard, keeps talking about proving himself to you, Uzukage-sama. Seeing Neji's jaw tighten a bit put a bigger smile on her face. Besides her, the Chinook clan member shook his head slowly. You're teasing our team leader again, Kana. He's gonna punish you. Maybe I wanna be punished, Jin. Ever think of that? Maybe you should take a page from him, work on that modesty a bit. The now named Jin could only wave a finger at the pale-eyed woman. That she snapped her teeth at him had him retreating a step. Naruto shares a small smile with Neji and shrugs. Seems you've got a handful there, so I'll let you get back to it. Make sure to stop in with Tsunami as well when you jump islands, alright? Neji nods. We will. Seeing the dismissal, the team salutes and heads off, Kana and Jin bickering back and forth with a tired-looking Neji in the lead. Hopefully a full patrol of Wave would tire them out a bit. Jugo speaks up once the other team leaves. Do you believe anyone will try to cause trouble over the Mizukage's visit? Naruto shrugs again. It's possible. Enough rumors have begun to spread about us that we can't say the possibility is zero. Better to upgrade security for the time being and be cautious. Turning in his chair a bit to look out over the city, Naruto sighs and eyes his desk. They were making progress, nearly ready to announce themselves, but there was still a lot of work to do. And even more to worry about. If only this could go smoothly. In the woods on the other side of the Great Naruto Bridge, the Sound Four were watching the procession of people in and out of the country while trying to decide their next move. Hidden as they are in the trees and dressed as travelers hard on their luck, they can't come to a complete agreement at the moment. Kidomaru doesn't see the need for any subtlety. We should just walk right in through the front. There's enough foot traffic to conceal us. We'll enter separately and pick a spot to link up together later. There's no walls, so most likely no passive barrier. Kimimaro shakes his head at that. The bridge could be a barrier point, though the rest of the island looks undefended. Lord Orochimaru did mention the best place to cause a scene would be in the middle of a crowd, but we must draw out this Naruto Uzumaki first. Saken leans against the trunk of a tree while sharpening a kunai. We could capture some random ninja, interrogate them and get a better idea of what to expect. Maybe we can luck out and they'll know about this Uzumaki. He and Akon could take care of that part quickly. Though it probably wouldn't be pretty. Just the way they liked it. Kimimaro nods slowly. A decent proposal. We will need information and ninja on patrol will likely have at least enough to allow us further inside without issue. Saken grins. Since it's an island nation, patrols will probably stick to their inner border then. So first worry is making it to a beach undetected. Kimimaro turns his gaze away from the bridge to look over the shoreline of the Land of Fire side of the ocean. We will camp out along the beach for today and enter from the water overnight. Our current goal is to capture a patrol quietly and gather information in order to infiltrate deeper into the country without causing a fuss. If we can find out where the Uzumaki is quickly, that will be a bonus. Kidomaru nudges a so far quiet Jirabu. Sounds like a good plan to me, doesn't it, big buddy? Jirabu nods. Simple is usually best. Kimimaro nods. Then move out. We don't have long before nightfall. Seeing everyone nod and dash along behind him through the trees, the group mentally prepares to complete their mission for Orochimaru. A flock of seagulls rests and chatters on the bridge. though one with a paler coloring and oddly glowing blue eyes has been watching the sound group. Seeing them dash away, the bird takes flight, startling its fellow avian companions. It arcs through the sky to follow them, silent and focused. Kidomaru attempts to make some small talk. Hey, do you think Tayuya is with this Naruto kid? Think we should drag her back before Orochimaru for some punishment? Of course, there was a chance she was doing exactly as she was supposed to and couldn't retreat in all this time. But it was doubtful in Kidomaru's mind. Jirabu shook his head as well. That foul woman wouldn't have taken this long with such a simple request. Kimimaro speaks up, silencing them all. If we do find her, it will be a bonus and we will capture her. She was ordered to bring back a seed of the Uzumaki. At the least she can accomplish that. If not, she'll be thrown away like the rest of the trash. She wasn't a mission parameter after all. But it might make Orochimaru-sama happy if they could bring her back, or confirmation of the traitor's deaths. B. Within the land of fire and also making their way towards the land of wave, Konoha's dubbed rookie group consisting of the rearranged teams of Guy leading Kiba, Shino, and Lee while Asuma leads Shikamaru, Choji and Tenten. Kakashi still runs Team 7 though he seems happy enough to walk along without his usual book. All of the Konoha ninja are guarding a contingent from Suna. Temari has been joined by her brothers which has given the Konoha group the heads up on why such a large group would be defending just the normally hot-tempered girl. Shikaru pipes up as they walk, bored out of his skull. I knew it didn't make a lot of sense to guard just one troublesome woman. So lame. Temari is grinning as they walk along. Or, you didn't think little old me was worth all the effort. Troublesome girls should be left alone. Shikamaru only instinctually ducked from the slap that never came. Years of conditioning from his mother and Ino had traumatized him. No wonder you're single. Temari rolled her eyes and faced ahead. He certainly wasn't like Naruto in any way. Genius sure, but shitty with women. Asuma steps in with hopes to defuse the situation. What's so important about Wave, and why include us? He had heard some whispers, but not much. Apparently displaced civilians were flocking that way for work and stability. It was drawing attention from as far north as Taki by now. Temari shrugs as Gaara doesn't seem to be in a talkative mood today. I'm not at liberty to discuss it really. But we will be there for a week. So consider it a vacation for yourselves until we complete our job there. They could at least understand that this was a diplomatic mission, just not the details. Didn't want to give up the bag before Naruto was ready after all. Behind them all Sakura and Sasuke share a knowing look with each other, both already knowing why the Suna siblings would be interested in Wave, while next to them Sai is considering how best to slip away in all of the confusion. If they had a few days to themselves, perhaps he could make some excuse and strike out on his own for a day. He shouldn't need longer than that to track down the Uzumaki clan home on such a small island. Lord Danzo had at least known the Uzumaki had finally settled there, just not exactly where yet. And while the scroll should have enough power to wipe out the town, Danzo had been specific about targeting the Uzumaki personally. Sai would not fail in that. Gaara looked back over his shoulder at everyone. Due to our agreement with Konoha, you have been allowed to accompany us as guards on this mission. I will have use of one team while we meet our target, but no more. Please, do not cause trouble while we are here. Being the most he had spoken to the Konoha group since they started the journey, Gaara was still working on his interpersonal skills. Slow going that. Kankuro had a brash grin as he looked over his shoulder. Unfortunately, if you all do something stupid, that'll reflect badly on us. So do us a favor and find a hotel room, keep to yourselves, and don't do anything stupid. Not that he had any high hopes for them. But at least Naruto would know that it was Konoha and not Suna. Guy thrusts a fist towards them. We will endeavor to live up to your example, Kazekage-sama. If not, I shall walk all the way back to Konoha on my hands. Backwards even. Such a youthful decision, Guy-sensei. I follow your example and complete the same challenge. And if I fail, I shall instead carry all of our belongings while reciting the ninja code. Truly youthful Lee. Your youthful fires burn ever bright this day. Guy-sensei. Lee. Guy-sensei. Tenten had tears trailing down her face while Choji pat her on the back. I thought I was free. I thought it was over. What have I done to deserve this? Watching as the two hugged it out, complete with sunset and waves crashing over rocks, Tenten had to look away. Temari could only twitch. What the hell is that? Kankuro scrubbed at his eyes. What the hell, man? Turn that shit off. It was going to be a long trek to Wave. Perhaps a bit longer for some more than others. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.